Captain Mo. Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. With heavy hearts, um, I want to announce the passing of Ada Ameh. Or with a heavy heart, I want to announce the passing of Ada Ameh. Yella is about to join me. Okay. How are you doing?
Fine, good evening.
Good evening. Okay. Okay. So her hair is nice. It took her 12 hours to do this hair. We nearly quarreled. As in 12 hours. Women, they try you. Meanwhile, my own hair, I cut myself in my bathroom. Shh. I've not even had time to cut it. So it's really sad that this happened. But to be all very honest, I wouldn't say I'm happy. I would say I'm relieved on her behalf. Because sometimes some people are so sad on earth that they're better off away from the craziness and the sadness of this world. A lot of people don't realize this, but losing a child is one of the most devastating things a human being can go through. And since she lost her daughter, she's not been the same. So I want to talk about this. I want to talk about, we have two topics. We also want to talk about Portable and the cultism drama that he's engulfed in. But before we start, I'm going to let Yella talk. As a parent and as a child, growing up, I was watching a Muslim documentary, a Muslim show, some Muslim guy with a turban in Ibadan. He said something I never forgot. He said, your child is sad and your child is 15 or 16 years old. And the reason why your child is sad is because their boyfriend or girlfriend made them sad. Instead of you understanding why they're sad, you are fighting with the child for having a boyfriend at 16. Whether you like to accept it or not, your child's pain is as a result of what they're going through in their relationship. You don't sympathize with that pain. Instead, you are fighting the child for being in a situation that's causing the pain. Are you helping the child? I was young then. This was a conk Muslim leader. I didn't expect such from. I expected to hear that from some American therapist, not an Ibadan Muslim cleric. But it made so much sense. Many people don't understand the pain other people go through. They try to rationalize the pain, meaning they try to insert themselves into the situation and judge it by their own standards. Let me give you an example. Someone who is diabetic can lose their lives for drinking a bottle of soft drink. But a normal person drinks 2 bottles of soft drink and nothing happens to them. And the person who drinks 2 bottles of soft drink is wondering what's wrong with this one. 1 bottle of Coke, now you can't understand because you're not in their shoes. And that also happens with mental health issues. What is your take?
On mental health?
On everything, on the whole story. Share your perspective. Let me keep quiet.
Well, I don't know what it feels like to lose a child.
Hmm.
But if we're going to talk about mental health generally, Yeah, it's basically what you're saying. Like you don't know what it feels like until you're in the person's shoes. It's always easier for you to criticize from like a viewer's point of view. You're just watching. You don't know what it feels like when it's until it happens to you. There's this thing like in this country when you say things like you're depressed, especially at my age, people don't tend to take you seriously. The people who are actually meant to take you seriously are the ones that don't take you seriously. It's your peers that take you seriously and be like, oh, you're depressed, but they're not the ones to help you. You
Mm.
actually need someone older than you to guide you. Like most of the time, like if I'm not saying I'm depressed, but like I'm just saying sometimes when I go to things, like I appreciate my friends and everything, but when I'm ranting to my friends, I notice that I end up ranting to like five of them, and it's because everybody is telling me the same thing, and I just don't feel like I'm getting the help I need. I don't feel like it's coming from wisdom. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's sometimes you hear someone trying to help you, you know they're trying to help you, but it's not sounding like wise advice. So most of the time, I tend to actually tell my dad my issues, hoping that he understands. Sometimes he understands,
Sometimes I don't.
sometimes he doesn't,
And
and
I
sometimes
must
when he doesn't,
apologize. I must apologize for the times I don't because I tend to judge her using my shoes. And I will say, my own situation was not like this now. What's all this? And until recently, and this is a message for all parents out there, take your children's complaints seriously and don't overweigh them. Everything we do is for the child's good. But sometimes what we're doing for their own good tends to put immense pressure on that child. And that pressure can sometimes lead to the child having a breakdown. That's not exactly an apology, but you got some sort of it. So continue.
so sometimes we also appreciate it when someone older than us understands that they don't understand. Like when you can, like, don't invalidate my feelings. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, it's okay for you to say, I don't actually understand what you're going through, but don't invalidate it. Because you can't understand it doesn't mean that those things aren't there. Like, it's something that someone is actually dealing with. Like, I don't know how to, like, you know, that sometimes when I even struggle to say some things to you, and then all I can say is, Daddy, life is hard. Oh. Daddy, life is
And
hard.
trust me, there's some things I don't understand and I struggle with it. And sometimes I'm boiling, but I'm just caution yourself, caution yourself. Like, let me give you this example. Two women came all the way from their houses to do her hair. Two grown women.
Mm.
And they started the hair at 1:30 p.m. At 1:30 a.m., they were not done. You guys don't get it. 1:30 in the afternoon, they started the hair. Around 7 o'clock, I went to check on her. There were two lumps of hair left like this. I said, you people have nearly finished. I did not know that the journey was only halfway done. At 12 midnight, I thought something had happened to her. Amarachi, go and check on your sister. They had now moved from inside the house because the light was no longer bright enough in the house or in the kitchen area, and they moved under the street light where they were directly under the street light. They had direct light on there, and the work continued. You know, I added 1K to their money. You didn't know. You didn't notice.
No, I didn't notice.
Oh, somebody has joined us here. How do you remove people from this? I wanted to remove. Okay, thank you. Thank you for leaving TikTok. You understand? So they now started the hair fresh. And I was upset. Let me not lie. I was upset. Like,
Wait, but can I ask you a question?
what?
Why are you upset
Because it's annoying.
that you're waiting for me?
How do you do hair for not that I was in that, but you see, I just kept cautioning myself. I'm like, okay, this is her life.
Wait,
As
but
long
can
as
I
she's
know?
okay in other
But
things,
can I know something?
yes.
This is what I also struggle to understand. Why is it that you missed me? You wanted to see
No,
me in the
it's just that
house?
we
Like,
felt that you could have put your time up to better use. But you see, I felt like that because It takes me 30 minutes or an hour to cut my hair.
Mm.
Those days, used to follow me to go and cut my hair in VI.
Mm-hmm.
We would drive down, cut my hair, shop, and still be back within 3 hours.
But you don't think I'm not the one cutting your hair,
Mm.
and they're not cutting my hair. You
Mm.
don't think I could be doing something in those 3 hours?
You know? So what I'm saying is it's okay, but I want you to understand that I can't understand, but I have to understand because you are a part of my life, and that's a difficult part that I have to deal with. Growing up, my father was not so patient. And a lot of the problems we have as parents, we inherited from our own parents. Like I can tell you, a lot is another, like 99%. Inherited directly and indirectly. My parents, I used to like looking at myself in the mirror. She takes it, she's like looking at herself in the mirror on steroids. I used to walk past the mirror and do like
Good.
this
Now,
from time to time, and
thank you. You just gave me a
she
very good example.
she will walk past every reflecting object, spoons, car windows, and do like this and do like this. So I find it hard to deal with. But you see, my father never understood that I was going to be an entertainer. Him seeing me look into the mirror from time to time. There was one time my father was on the toilet bowl. Now, the toilet was behind his door and the mirror was ahead of me. So I was there doing like this, vibing to my image for like 10 minutes, and my father was there looking.
Do you know you've done this thing to me before?
Which thing?
I was in the kitchen, just trying to angle myself, like how should I take my selfie? And then, like in the camera, I just like, I just.
And my father was there watching me for like 15 minutes. Then he said, "Your looks are not going to feed you." And I was startled. Then after a while, I thought about it. Who told you my looks are not going to feed me? I'm in entertainment. Luckily for me, I'm a talk host, a preacher, so I don't really need to look good. But when I was an MC, part of the reason why I used to bill a lot was because I used to wear those cut suits. You understand? I used to come in, I used to get a new pair of shoes I never wore the same pair of shoes more than 2 or 3 times. That's why I have so many wasted shoes here. Any event, I try to cut a pair of shoes. So I'm coming in, there's no crease on the leather. I'm coming in looking hot. So she's into fashion. She's into entertainment too. She's also into beauty products, even though not yet, but beauty, everything beauty, as in like a 360 beauty. So if she cannot look beautiful, how can she sell beauty products, beauty ideas, clothes, fashion?
Looking beautiful. It's a thing of I have to feel like I look. Not someone is telling me you look. There's something I hate in this house. I hate it when I'm like, "Daddy, did I do my hair?" I'm like, "It looks okay." What do you mean by it's okay as per satisfactory?
Someone said, "What's her handle, please?" Her handle is at Danny_Yella, or is Danny.Yella?
Danny.Yella.
Danny.Yella. Let me type it here. In fact, type it with your own hand. Don't let it follow, and you are blocking this other camera. So,
there's something I wanted to talk about.
Okay, go ahead. Just press post. Okay, at post. Then also, academic qualifications are very important. And I try not to undermine the importance of academic qualifications. But academic qualifications are not everything. Sometimes I'm hard on the kids when they're not doing well academically, because I want them to have a certain level of academic abilities. I don't want them, if you want to be a genius, you get my support. But if you're not a genius, be average, pass. Don't be the bottom of the class, just pass and move to the next level. You might need it in future, you might not. But it's something I like my kids to have. But I've noticed that me and many other parents out there put undue and unnecessary pressure on children with regards to academics. Not every child is going to be a doctor. And the fact that your child is not a doctor does not mean your child is going to be poor. The fact that your child is not a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or a pharmacist or an accountant doesn't mean your child is going to be a wasted child. So all these things all add up. Finish saying what you wanted to say.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the academic part and then the thing about me looking at myself in the mirror. So when people catch you looking at yourself in the mirror, they tend to think you are admiring yourself. You've never actually stopped to think that maybe this girl doesn't actually like the way she looks. And for a long time, I struggled with the way I looked. I didn't like the way I looked. And I would always look at myself in the mirror, but everybody would be like, why are you always admiring yourself? And I'm really thinking, you think I want to look like this? Maybe because I grew up and while I was young, people, I don't know if people notice, but like my nose doesn't dip in.
Like everybody else's
When I
own.
was much younger, people used to say that I didn't have a nose. All I had were nostrils, and then I have this lebe. My bottom lip is very big, so people used to body shame me throughout primary school. So that thing,
I also joined in that. To me,
they used
my grandmother, Rorie. You don't
like
understand
the
what we
shape
went through.
of the size of my head.
Rorie. As in, not normal,
So even
chubby,
even when they were what's it called, even when
okonu.
they were making my hair, they said her hair is full, her head is now big. But I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. So that's how I grew up, and I was always conscious. When I'm when I was younger, I used to pull my nose 50 times a day because my grandma gave me an instruction. She was like, "You better pull your nose 50 times a day, unless you don't have a nose when you grow up." So I was pulling my nose every day. Even Amarachi, she like unconsciously just does this. She just pulls out because we all used to pull our nose because grandma made us think that if your nose is not pointed, you're not beautiful. And you know how grandma actually is, or how she was back then. When a baby is not too beautiful to her, even to me, I wasn't the cutest baby. When a baby isn't too beautiful to her, she just says, "Oh, you're so lively." You're so lively. It ends there. Oh. She's not really going to. She's not really going to carry you. So things like that, they actually really impacted me. But it's not like I was talking about it with my parents. I don't know why. I just kept it to myself. And then things when it comes to grades, like I can understand pushing your kid to do better, but when you start saying things like "don't be the last in the class," what if everybody in the class is actually smart? Like, are you in competition with the people in your class, or are you in competition with your past self, like to do better than you were doing before, or to do better than everybody else is doing?
You see, when a class is graded,
Mm-hmm.
you tend to, for instance, if you have a class of 20, if you are at the bottom and you have a strong grade or you have an average grade, it means everybody in the class is above average. I did statistics, so I know. So it means you are in a class with really smart people and you're not keeping up. Now, if you are doing very well, or sorry, if you are doing averagely well and you are within the top half of the class, it means either your teachers don't know what they're doing or you are in a class with not so smart people. So sometimes we grew up on the position in the class. These days, they don't, in primary schools and secondary schools, they no longer do it because they feel it affects the child emotionally.
What
Position.
position? Oh.
Those days they used to do when you come home, nobody looks at your percentage. What position were you in the class? And my father would tell me that if everybody else could do it, why couldn't you do it? Now I understand when people are smarter than you. My thing is just come somewhere in the middle. If you can't come among the top, just somewhere. Don't be at the end. That's if you are at the end, it means either you're not pulling your weight like everybody else is, or there's something you can do to up yourself a little. I I have condemned children before for grades, I know. And I tend because you see, the world we're in requires some level of education, and BSc is just the foundation. After a BS, my mother made me get a BSc. Without a BSc, I probably would have survived. I still have gotten the jobs I got. I still have done what I did. But BSc increased my earning power. and also helps me with my mind. When I'm talking about issues I'm talking about today, I'm talking about them from a deeper point of understanding. Because, for instance, I studied psychology, I studied sociology, so I understand how the society works, I understand how the human mind works. I also did a bit of political science. All these things help me today. I have a political show, Clash of the Supporters. I deal with religion. So the BSc was definitely useful to me. And I tell you all the time, if my mom didn't push me to get the BSc, I probably never would have. And I would have missed out a lot in life. I'm not one of those people that push their children to get masters. One day, I not get masters. And there are many people who I pay who have masters, and I pay them salary. There are many people who even have more than masters who don't make the kind of money we make or do not have the kind of job satisfaction we have. But that BSc, that basic BSc, I think it's very important that every child has it and has it with a basic minimum grade, at least a strong 2-2. If you can have a 2-1, you enjoy it. If you have a first class, it is very useful. But don't have a weak 2-2, because a weak 2-2, sometimes you will not be able to do masters. Who understands and agrees with me? With a weak 2-2, you might not be able to do masters. And just in case you want to do masters in the future, at least let your grade point be strong, because they check your grade point before they allow you to do masters. If I'm correct, somebody said fact. If I'm correct, so you might not want to do masters, but let it be that I don't want to do masters, not that I can't do masters because my grades are not good enough. With a third class, forget masters. You probably get a mistress or be a mistress. You ain't gonna get no masters. Right? So when we say keep your grades up, I would understand if my child does not come home top of the class. I was not top of the class my own time. My father was top of the class. My mother was top of the class. Oh, those ones were. My mother had her master's by the time she was 21, and she had me while she was doing her master's, and she studied law. By 21, my mother had master's, had me, was pregnant with my sister somewhere along the line, and she had a master's. Those ones were not normal people. Those ones were geniuses. Today, I posted something on my mom. My mom is the current vice chancellor of Abuad, and she was attending a meeting of, she is a member of the African Association of African Universities governing board. My mother is on the governing board of the Association of, not Nigerian universities, or African universities. My father is a doctor. So let me tell you, my father came from a poor home. He went to school. All his university was on scholarship. They were paying him. The government was paying him money to go to school. That's the level of his own genius. My mother was genius and is continuously genius. So, but I wasn't like that. They couldn't understand. They thought I was mad. They thought I was possessed. They thought I was retarded. There's nothing I didn't go through with regards to my parents thinking I was silly. They took me for an IQ test and realized that my IQ was higher than their own, and they did not understand how. Did not understand how. Because that was my problem. I wish I'd never done the IQ test, because I enjoyed being retarded. They thought I was retarded, but I just didn't care about school. So they used to pity me. Then they went and found out that I was not retarded. I was actually smarter than the two of them. Then I got into trouble. Because now, okay, so you have the brain, you are just not using it. You know? So I got a lot of heat. My parents will make me read all day. You are enjoying. You come home, you will read. I will hide game under my book. They will catch me, seize the game, beat me. You know? So at the end of the day, I got a little bit of that. But my own is with understand. My mother did not understand. Why are you? What do you need? Do you need more classes? Do you know my mother will write my notes for me? At a point in my life, my mother will sit with me and say I'm not writing the notes when I'm looking at. There was one day my mother came to school and went to the library, or sorry, the staff room of the teachers. And first teacher, second teacher, third teacher told my mother about me and how hopeless my case was. And my mother started crying in school. And I was looking at my mother. I said, why are you disgracing me? My mother started crying even more. That, oh, you are not worried about your life. It is my crying that is disgracing. I can't sit down and think and say, come, it's my life. You are the one crying. What's this now? I was so angry. So, yes, we got that from our parents and we transfer that to our kids. Oh, I'm very hard on them with academics. So not very hard my parents' style, but hey, why is this grade down? And the kids tend to do well. They all tend to do academically well. But like I said, not every child is cut out to be an academic. Don't drown your child in academia. Encourage them. Like this one, she says she doesn't want to do masters. All well and good. You want to do masters, all well, and anything you want to do will support you. But I will not push you to do masters the way I'll push you to do your BSc. I will not push you. You tell me you want a gap year, you want to play around with your friends, you want to get your head clear before you go and do masters. You don't want to do masters. You understand? All well and good. But that BSc, there is no dodging it. That's my one contribution my mother made in my life. Now, going back to depression, I remember as a child, I knew what it was like to be sad, and my parents did not understand. So when I was sad, they didn't understand. After a while, I started figuring my life out by myself. I just knew that these ones are not going to help me. But when I got older, my mother started understanding me more. She took more time out to study me because she realized that I'm her only son. If she follows my father and does this, is a useless child, throw him away. Her only son will be thrown away. So inside my rascality, my mother will sit down and try to figure something out for me. And it helped us with our relationship. My mother was always, oh, don't ever say you are a failure. You are doing well. My father on the other hand say, you are useless. See your life. You are hopeless. There's nothing you can do. You will be the servant of your mates. So it was two people. Now let me tell you something. In as much as my father was very hard on me, I appreciate his input in my life, and I'll tell you why. I was one of those kids that tended to be lazy. If I had a rich father that had fine cars inside the compound and did not really care about me doing well, just wanted me to be happy, I swear I would never go to school. Go to school and do what? Should be when I go to school and come and say, need to drive the same motor that I have inside the compound. I'll just be driving my father's car, hanging around, as long as they gave me that freedom. But that, me remembering that my father is going to yap me at the end of the day, was like a kick that pushed me forward. Now, so that my mental health did not go all crazy, my mother was there to support me in some form of way and make me realize that I wasn't a dropout. So the push from my father and the comfort from my mother together was able to weather the storm of depression. But my real depression happened when I was much older and I was in a terrible relationship. And then I experienced what depression really was. And it's a silent killer. Help yourself. There's somebody listening to me right now, and this message might just be for you. Help yourself. There's somebody listening to me right now. This message might be for your child. You are not connecting with your child. You don't understand what your child is going through. If your child has a boyfriend and you don't know, fix yourself, not fix the child. Especially if the child is 14 and above. If your child is 10, 11, 12 and has a boyfriend and you don't know, you are excused. But from that 14, if you don't know, there's something wrong with either the way you relate with your child or the way your child relates with you. Your child should be able to come and tell you, listen, why many people fail in parenting is you use Bible to judge your child. Meanwhile, if they use Bible to judge you, you'll be burning in hellfire right now. You that you are using Bible to judge your child, how many of the laws of Moses did you keep? Did you marry a virgin? You that you want to kill your child, did you marry a virgin? Are you sure you didn't cheat in any relationship? Are you straight and narrow? Even if you are, how do you expect your child to be? So why did Christ die? Christ died on the cross so that we may be saved from sin, because by our own hands we can't do it. And sometimes we experience too much. I was having that conversation with her. I said, come, that guy, did people do anything? She was laughing at me and saying no. I said, okay, what's your problem? I cannot beat you. The only thing I'll do is teach you how to do these things right, so you don't get into trouble. I remember sitting at home and watching that little girl in that hotel room, and that little girl was on top of that guy.
That thing traumatized you.
That thing traumatized me. Oh. I said once, I just gathered all the children. Hey, I'm going to go and buy contraceptive, and I'm going to show you how to use it. God will not put you inside trouble, because you think you have the children at home, they are looking like normal children, only for them to go to school and they now bring out all sorts of playboy bunny behavior, and you are wondering, hey, where did you learn this from? That girl in that video, remember that video? That girl, she was not doing it for the first time. Everybody fought back and forth. Right? That girl knew how to do it more than some of my ex-girlfriends that were in their 30s. So you need to understand that this generation is a generation where people know more than you do. Be careful how you criticize your children. Be careful how you criticize your clothes, their clothes. You might not understand their clothes. I was having an argument with her grandmother the other day over their skimpy clothes. Their grandmother said, "You are a pastor now. You should be careful. Tell them not to wear those kind of clothes." I said, "Grandma, what's wrong with the clothes they are wearing?" As long as the private parts are not showing, for me, as long as your areolae are not showing, as long as the tips, I don't want to use the word because of Instagram algorithm, of your mammary glands are not showing, and as long as the foot or the toes of a camel are not showing in front, I think you are okay. Those three to me are vulgar expressions. She disagrees to an extent.
Yeah.
Left to her, she wants to wear the kind of clothes that some of those things show. It freaks me out. We have meltdowns in the house. I shout about it. But then sometimes I sit down and understand, okay, that's how people want to be dressing. Okay. Try to get them within some level of decency. Trust me. It's a meltdown. It gives we have our. There was one day we had a public meltdown. I said, what is this? For me to have a public, because I believe I'm liberal compared to some people.
I didn't really think it was public. We were just
yes,
in the car.
Yes. When I came back to the house and I was like, no, you crossed the line here. You're not gonna wear this. This is extra. I don't care about the mini skirts. I don't care about the but sometimes us literally having your mammary glands visible. I can see it. I can see, okay, this is the mammary gland. This is the tip of the mammary gland where milk comes out from. This is the areolae. I can see it like this. I think that's too much information.
But did you not know that the information was there? Wait, okay, now let me ask this one now. I can see your bra strap. Like, was I not going to be wearing a bra? Like,
I don't care about bra strap.
No, but people also count things like that. Like, I mean, girl, was I not? There's a 50% chance that I'm wearing a bra. Why are you freaking out? Like, that's the one that just vexes me. Where I can see your bra strap. I can see your shoelace. It's the same thing. Like, it's just that it's here.
Now, my question is, if your bra strap is meant to be shown, no problem. But if it's like when you wear clothes, you're not supposed to see the seams of your clothes. This is supposed to be tucked in. So if your bra is part of your cloth that's supposed to be visible, like this shirt has a label at the back here. It's not supposed to be visible. It's inside. So sometimes your bra strap showing is like the label of your shirt showing. It's not supposed to show. But there's one thing she always says. She says, who makes these rules?
And I don't mean to be rude. I'm so serious. Like, who made the rules? And why do you guys follow it? Like, if you don't, you will die.
And to be very honest, I can't answer some of the questions she
No,
asks.
that day I was like, I was so in the mood because when I asked you who made the the only thing you said was, Daniela, this is the end of the discussion. You know?
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? You understand? They said that's why it's called underwear. She'll ask you, who called it
Who called
underwear?
it on?
Then you now start thinking, okay. So that day, how I feel, I said, final, this is what I'm saying.
No, do you know what I don't understand? Because people call okay camisole now. A camisole is underwear, being, but your tank top is not an underwear. Please, can you explain it to me? It was marketing. They are marketing something. They are just telling you that this is camisole and this one is underwear, then this one is a top. Do you know that when we were young, we used to watch Hannah Montana wear camisole under her tank top,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing didn't make sense to me. Do you understand what
Miley
I'm
Cyrus,
saying?
yeah.
And it didn't. I was like, why are you wearing a camisole under your camisole? Like,
You see, and it's an issue. That day I had a bit of a quarrel with her grandma. That's her mom's mom. She was like, no, no, no. You should not let them, you should at least tell them that it is wrong. How do I tell them that a top is wrong because you can see their tummy? Or she says, you know their mentality, old people's mentality, it increases
chances
the
of rape.
R word. I don't want to say it because of algorithm. You understand? And I'm like, those ones that do it to small Pekin and co. You see what the Pekin was wearing? You've not heard that nuns that cover their face like this, people they break into convent, go arrange them. What was the nun wearing? LA has those Muslim women that in Puda that cover their face like this. They still get.
See, the reason why people say things like that is because you don't realize it, but like it's still a male-dominated society. We are still making excuses for men's bad behavior. You can't say oh it's because the nipple was like you knew it was breast. Sorry, you knew it was.
What it was,
You
yeah.
knew what it was. So what are you?
Hmm. So all these things we're saying, if you over criticize, my parents hated my, oh gosh, my father and my mother were from the same era. My mother till today quarreled with me. How old am I? 46. I went to see my mother's boss. My mother was quarreling with me that why am I wearing jeans at 46. I had to sit down and say hello, 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 hello. Auntie, are you okay? What's your business what I'm wearing? My mother, she brought it up the other day again, like, hey, calm down. Even if I was wearing torn jeans, I'm a grown man. Why are you judging me by my appearance? That was their world. Of course, when me and my mother were living together, she dared not, because as much as my parents raised me, I also raised them. But I was nowhere near what they are in this generation. Imagine at my age. When did we come to your school that day? Oh, this year. It was this year. My mother was raking for me for wearing jeans. I had to call her and we had a fight, literally. So imagine coming from there, then your own type of dressing. They will never understand. My father never wore jeans in his life. He never understood what jeans were. Why are you wearing jeans? There was a time I went to a party when I was
you
me.
like you can wear jeans or
No,
your
I wear
sisters
jeans
shouldn't wear
now.
jeans.
I had to fight them to wear jeans. It was literally war. My sisters, I don't remember them wearing jeans until they got much older. But me, I fought some battles for them. And that included things like jeans. Come on.
This is deep.
You know, it was an issue. But after a while, my uncle, there was a party in the neighborhood. So I went to borrow jeans because I don't get jeans. I go work, I go party, I know get jeans. So I went to borrow one of my guys then in the hood where we stayed. His name was Dauda. I went to borrow Dauda's shoe and Dauda's jeans because my shoes, you could not wear them to a party. Hey, my papa they buy the kind of shoe when you understand give me. It was bad enough I had to wear them to school, now to a party. So Dauda used to wear those nice Timberland kind of shoes. That's why I go Dauda house, collect shoe, collect face cap, collect jeans, and collect jacket. Come go the party. On my way home, I was going to Dauda's house to go and drop his clothes and carry my own. I ran into my uncle. My uncle gave me the leg. You know that my uncle now. That one you met in that. I don't mention his name. The one you he gave me the lecture of how the earth was formed and what it was formed for. He said, if you want to borrow clothes, why can't you borrow your parents' clothes? I said, no, my parents are they run from with the kind of nonsense where they wear. When I go borrow their nonsense, say no. You know, it didn't make any sense to him.
Did he report you?
That particular incident, he didn't report. Surprisingly, because my uncle, hey, radio, we don't get battery, nothing we know they talk. But that particular incident, he felt he could connect
when you
with
tell
me.
your stories, I always wonder how small was Ibadan. Like, you talk about Ibadan like it was Shoprite.
No, you see, me and Dauda lived in the same hood. The party was outside, but I came home. Now, instead of me going home straight, I dropped 2 bus stops away from at Dauda's house. Then I will now walk back home. Apparently, my uncle went to see his girlfriend or his friend or somewhere around there. So as I was coming out of the bus, he saw me in clothes that were unfamiliar. He said, Bolotiri filler, where did you see face cap? Bolotiri jeans. I now say, it's my for me to I tighten my face. I say, it's my friend, I'm going to return it. I borrowed it. I did not lie. You understand? So you need to get it that people are different from you. If I want her to dress, her mother likes to dress like Kate Middleton,
Yes.
Princess Diana.
She wants us to dress like Mary Poppins.
You know, she wants to dress like Ralph. She wants to wear Ralph Lauren. These ones want to dress like what's that one called? Megan Thee Stallion.
No, why would you say that? That's
Okay, quarter to Megan Thee Stallion, but not full Megan Thee Stallion. Rihanna, that wore dress. Inside the dress, belle come out, yash come out.
Yeah.
And as far as she was concerned, she was dressed.
Yes, I support.
So if I allow you,
what makes you think?
if I allow you, your yash will show, your belly will show, and you'll be all right and walking on the street, and everybody will say, aha.
No, but why can't you be sexy? By the way.
No, you can say that.
Why can't you be sexy and pregnant?
Somebody mentioned Pastor Toby. Is Pastor Toby here? Okay, no, it's Kelly Handsome. Kelly Handsome, how you doing, bruv?
Why can't you be sexy and pregnant?
You can be.
Why were maternity clothes made? Is it not so you be comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. She no. It's her stomach. Yeah, if she's comfortable and she can wear it, I don't see why it's anybody's concern. It's the same way when they were making my hair, they were like, they don't know who will sit down 12 hours, and I didn't do those. It's because I wanted to do the hair.
She was awake for 12 hours. I could not believe it. I went from all the emotions from, is she okay? To, she has finally run mad. To, wait, am I the one getting it wrong?
It's hot water that almost burnt my head when Jency came to check on.
Then they now brought hot water to boil the hair again at a point. I'm like, what the?
It's a body.
It was not even hard that I pitied. It's the grown people that finish the hair at quarter to 2. Midnight 2, not afternoon 2. And then she came to meet me and said, it's time to pay them. She now gave me their bill. I don't know when I added 1K. I felt sorry for them. Like, these are grown women. Wow. So anyway, let's get back to, it's very easy to talk about things and get distracted. The topic is Ada Ameh went through so much when she lost her child. And Nollywood is not a very supportive industry. Many people don't have their support system. Many people in Nollywood are literally depressed. They are walking.
Also, Nollywood also depressing her. At the time when they asked me her for money, she was meant to do a project. She couldn't do it because of her mental health issue.
And people don't understand.
And then they sued her on top of what she was already going through.
Now, another thing I try to tell her is, sometimes you can be the architect of your own mental state. if you don't do things when you're supposed to do them, and they're already piling up, then you now have a tragedy or something happens. You now lose focus on the things that you have already lost focus on. So those ones pile up even more, and then you have a real issue. And then everything now starts to come after you. It now looks like the world is caving in on you. You can no longer cope. You understand? So you need to understand that you need to be careful. Don't box yourself into situations so that because the bank borrows you 20 million naira, you now have a tragedy. You lost your mom, you lost your, what is it called? The bank does not care. The bank will send you sorry letter at the end of the month. Please, where's our dividend? In a Nigerian bank can say, okay, we love you so much. We'll give you 1 month. Don't pay the interest in this month, but that you not pay it next month. Who wants to run the bank? Now, Papa will come the run bank. You have to understand that your grief and your situation abroad, that abroad where they are raising people to be emotional and all. My wife's friend lost her mom. They gave her 2 hours to go to the bathroom to cry and come back to work. America. Nigeria, you will go home for 1 week, people come and be greeting you. In America, unless that work you are doing is a mind that you are doing important work. They gave her 2 hours. Oh, your mother girl, sorry, go to the bathroom, just take 2 hours off. After the 2 hours, they came to look for, hey.
This world is too wicked.
You know? But that's the reality of life. Someone said America is 3 days. 3 days, you are back. No work, no pay. And if you don't work for 1 month, you are on the road with your luggage. You are one paycheck away from homelessness. You know?
Yeah, that's why I understand that thing that you said when you said, what did you say? That you feel relief? Well,
For
because
her.
the thing is, if you want to feel bad for anyone, it's not her. It's really the people who lost her. Because she's not sad where
she's gone.
She's gone.
It's over.
Whether she's in heaven or whether she doesn't exist anymore, she's gone.
Dollar hit 620 today. She doesn't know.
She doesn't
It's
know.
gone. Now me and you, they say the people like the people where they earn dollars, they rejoice. Say, oh, well, yeah, for this Nigeria.
Sometimes
the ones that are earning naira, look, my own has finished. Oh, hey, she's gone.
Sometimes you can say all these things like, don't what's it called? Don't box yourself in. Don't do this and don't do that. But like, sometimes life just looks so hard, and you just be thinking. Do you remember when the Joker said, I don't know, but you know, sometimes I relate movies to things that are not about the movie, but like, you know, when he said, would you die for me? And the girl said, yeah. And he said, no, that's too easy. Would you live for me? Because really, there are some things so much more painful than death.
Oh, yes. Nigerians believe that death is the worst thing that can happen to you. Death is actually relief. Release.
It's really not.
It sets you free. Her grandfather, that's her mom's dad, passed away. Oh, her mom was heartbroken. But I was more relieved. I was like, he's gone to rest. He wasn't feeling too well for the last 2 years of his life. So it's not like he was enjoying the life. It was one health challenge to the other. He couldn't really move around too well. So he was in a lot of pain. He was on constant painkillers. And at one point I had to ask my wife, I'm like, are you holding on to your father being alive for his sake or for your sake? Because I think it is for your sake. He needs to rest. And he's not getting that rest in this world. Sometimes you hold on, especially to your older parents. Your mama did log out, you did log am back in. She go log out, you go log am back in. They no, mama, you're not going anywhere. Ask yourself, are you doing it for her or are you doing it for yourself?
Sometimes love can be very selfish
and toxic.
Your love they choke me.
You don't want, you want your father to be around. Are you thinking about it? Is my father really
Does
happy? Is he is he living in pain? So that you can go, and it's not like you're going to be with him 24 hours and do like this, say, Daddy, don't worry, I'm here
see
with
my
you.
curls?
Oh, sorry about
My
your 12-hour
curls.
curls. You go and see him once a weekend for 30 minutes. And then he must be alive for that your 30 minutes for your own therapeutic needs, that, oh, my father is alive.
It's like
Meanwhile,
when you have a dog and the dog is really sick and you can't redeem it.
and you can't read the boy,
You have to put it to
you have to
sleep.
put it to sleep. It's the kind thing to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to start seeing death as a release. Imagine a story of a lady who was childless.
But at the same time,
Yes.
I don't want anyone to, I'm not trying to give anyone a glimpse into my head or my life or anything. But when you start seeing, you have to start seeing death. Because I had been thinking about death the whole time, like, since I was much younger, and I was like, boy, does it really have to be a bad thing? To the point where I was like, but daddy, I don't want to live that long. Do you remember when I told
Mm-hmm.
you I don't want to live that long? Like, it scares me to think of how long I can live.
Mm.
Do you know that? And when people used to pray for long life, I used to get worried because I can't imagine living that long and being in pain, or living long and then being a burden to everybody around me. I'm shitting in a diaper. I'm just, I just want to live and enjoy my life. And when I'm not enjoying again, I want to go.
Mm. You see, you see.
And then you said something about what you called a release.
Mm.
Like, it's also something when, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like, should I say you're lazy and you're depressed
Mm.
about your own laziness? Do you know, to me, the worst kind of depression is is when you're sitting in one place like this, yeah. You actually have something to do and you're worried about that thing and you're not doing it, but you're worried.
Mm.
You're, I swear, you're having a heart attack thinking about it, but you're not doing anything about it. Sometimes you even want to do something about it, but you don't even know what to do about it, and then you're just there, like, killing yourself, but you're not doing anything. Then people will now come and be like, you're so lazy, but you're really worried about that thing, but you're not doing anything about it.
And you know how I explain that life to her? I tell her that the easiest way to catch a train, is by getting to the train station on time.
And it will pain you more when people walk past you and say, you're lazy, you're not doing it.
Do you
You don't
understand?
even think about your day. But I'm scared though. But I'm chilling, but I'm scared. Like,
Let me explain this. When you get to a train station on time, the train is there, the doors are open. All you need to do is walk into the train. Once the train starts moving, it's not that you can't get into the train, but you're going to have to run after the train, carry your briefcase like this, jump on the train, and try to squeeze yourself through a window or force the door to open while the train is in motion. It's not that it is not possible, but you have put yourself in a position that will stress you, and stress brings on depression sometimes, especially when it is loaded with other things. Ada Blessing said something. She said, sometimes it's really painful to watch the ones we love go. Have you ever considered that it's painful for them to stay?
yeah.
Have you ever thought about them? You see, let me tell you, everything we do in this life is for us. We have children because of us. Sometimes you think you love the child so much, but actually, what you are doing is you are projecting yourself onto that child. You are dressing the child the way you want, whether the child likes to get dressed or not. You are dressing the child in a certain way. You are feeding the child what you want the child to eat.
And it's the same thing with relationships, actually. You know, those kind of toxic relationships where the guy keeps coming back, and then you start really thinking, no, this guy must really love me. It's because he loves himself. That's why he keeps coming back. He wants you for himself.
For
He's
himself.
not thinking of what he's doing to you. It's the same thing with it. This thing is applicable to a lot of things. Same thing for your dog that's dying
Mm-hmm.
and is sick. It's almost like the movie Me Before You.
Mm. 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 It's painful to lose a loved one, but there's some situations where you have to stop and ask yourself, is the pain I'm feeling as the person is going more than the pain the person is feeling staying around for me? If the answer is no, let them go.
Sometimes it's not even about whose pain is more. I just feel like when you love someone, you're going to put them
first.
first.
And if you put them first, think of their pain.
And if they also put you first and they're staying, like somehow you guys have to find a way to work it out.
Mm. So I want us to quickly address Zazu's, you know who Zazu Portable is, and the threats and cultism in music. I'm going to come back with that in a moment, but may the soul of Ada Ameh be granted eternal life. May God have his mercy upon her, and may God really give the family the succor to bear the irreplaceable loss. And may we all learn something from it. Depression is real. Sadness and emotional pain are all real. Don't let them consume you. Okay? So I want to end the video on on YouTube and Facebook while Instagram is still on. Be chatting with them, and we're coming back and we're talking about Zazu and how he boxed himself into a corner that can lead to his depression in the future when we come back. Oh yeah, be talking to them.
Okay, so like in regards to what we were already talking about, I would just say you should live intentionally. Don't live because